The idea here is that your motivation is sound, but what's the impact? And I think a lot of people out there, fans of you, people who love you, people who are fans of you, like me, I've been saying it.
You don't have to patronize me, dude.
Okay.
I don't know you.
Fair enough.
I never met you.
I'm just saying that this comes.
Not everybody has to like it.
All I'm
That's
saying
what we said. There are people who didn't want it to happen at all. You sound like one of them. It's
No.
okay. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
Like, what is the alternative to not talking? Just sit at your lunch table and don't talk to anybody. I said in the piece I did not think that was going to happen.
In that case, then go.
I love the people on either side who ignore the parts they don't like and I just did it. It wasn't like it was 3 weeks ago.
Bill Maher had dinner with Donald Trump recently. Predictably, the liberal internet had a collective meltdown. Democrats, wokesters, and keyboard warriors everywhere practically begged Maher to stay 100 feet away from anything that even resembles the White House. Fast forward a few days, Maher invites one of these pro-clutching liberals onto his show. The guy wastes no time scolding Maher for daring to break bread with the so-called devil. Maher, being Maher, didn't just sit there and nod, he clapped back hard. He reminded his guests and everyone watching that this is still America. Land of the free, home of the First Amendment, and yes, even dinner with Trump is on the menu.
Just wanted to report exactly what I saw. I did it to the best of my abilities.
Counterpoint?
Yes.
Counterpoint?
Yeah.
You know, Phil, I think you're right in saying that people made too much of this, okay? It's not the Alta Summit. You're not Churchill. Kid Rock is not Stalin. Trump isn't FDR, okay? So, yes, I believe too much has been made about this, but I think you've fallen into the trap. I think I represent 99% of the internet when I say this, is that you've played the game of proximity is principle. And what people are worried about is not your motivation. We believe you. We love you, Bill. Everybody loves Bill, right?
Let me just hit pause for a second and point something out. You know how these sycophants operate? They butter you up with fake praise. Then, just when you start to relax, bam, they drop the hammer like it's personal. That's exactly what happened here. The guy started off fawning over Bill Maher, laying it on thick, but Maher, he saw it coming from a mile away and called him out before the trap was even fully set. We'll get to that glorious takedown in a bit, but for now, let's just suffer through this cringeworthy praise parade.
I'm not questioning your motivation, I'm questioning Trump's, okay? And if we can say that you went there in good faith, but maybe, just maybe, he wasn't there in good faith. I mean, you sold him on the Iran deal and he took it in. I'm giving you credit, okay? So the idea here is that your motivation is sound, but what's the impact? And I think a lot of people out there, fans of you, people who love you, people who are fans of you, like me, I've been saying it.
You don't have to patronize me, dude.
Okay.
I don't know you.
Fair enough.
I never met you.
I'm just saying that this comes.
Not everybody has to like it.
All I'm
That's
saying
what we said. There are people who didn't want it to happen at all. You sound like one of them. It's
No.
okay. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
Like, what is the alternative to not talking? Just sit at your lunch table and don't talk to anybody.
Recently and predictably, the liberal corners of the internet erupted with outrage. Democrats, progressives, and online activists were practically begging Maher to stay far away from anything even remotely connected to the White House a few days. Later, Maher invited one of these outraged voices onto his show, and the guest wasted no time criticizing him for daring to sit down with what he called the devil. But Maher, true to form, didn't just take it. He fired back, reminding both his guest and the audience that this is still America, a place where free speech matters, and yes, even having dinner with Trump is allowed.
If you go on social media for 5 minutes now, you just have these tribal fury raging all day long. Everyone's got to be implacably there, implacably here. And actually, most Americans and most Brits, they're not like that. So there's this screaming going on between these tribes, and actually walking across that line, sitting down, having dinner, having a laugh, having a chat, and then the idea that Bill Maher is now going to stop criticizing Donald Trump. I didn't know what with him. It's preposterous.
Let me pause for a moment and highlight something important. You know how these sycophants work? They start with over-the-top flattery, trying to lull you into a false sense of comfort. Then just when you drop your guard, they strike like it's some personal betrayal. And that's exactly what played out here. The guy kicked things off by gushing over Bill Maher, laying it on thick. But Maher saw right through it. He spotted the setup a mile away and called him out before the ambush even landed. We'll dive into that epic response soon, but first let's endure this painfully awkward performance of empty praise.
There's going to be the changed by some
I
people.
said in the piece I did not think that was going to happen.
In that case, then go.
I love the people on either side who ignore the parts they don't like and then I just did it. It wasn't like it was 3 weeks ago. I mean, watch it again. Maybe you'll find something new.
Although, Bill, I don't know what the hell you said to him at the dinner, but all hell broke loose within about 3 days of that dinner.
He was doing
Were you giving him economic advice in there? Or?
He was doing the tariffs well before.
This is exactly why I respect Bill Maher. The man has a built-in hypocrisy detector that's sharper than ever, and he's never shy about calling out nonsense when he sees it. By this point in the conversation, you could see he was growing tired of the guest's hollow, over-the-top flattery. It wasn't genuine admiration, it was a setup, and Maher wasn't buying into it. Look, it's completely fair to disagree with Maher for having dinner with Trump. That's a valid opinion. Not everyone likes pineapple on pizza. And that's fine, we're all entitled to our preferences. But what's not okay is pretending to cheer someone on just to set them up for a self-righteous takedown 2 seconds later. That's not honest debate, that's theatrical smugness. The guest could have simply expressed his true feelings up front, but instead he opened with fake applause, hoping it would make his criticism seem more thoughtful. Maher saw right through the act and did what he does best. He peeled back the layer of phony praise and exposed it for what it really was, a calculated and insincere attempt to lecture under the guise of admiration.
As you know, 12 days ago I had dinner with President Trump, a dinner that was set up by my friend Kid Rock, because we share a belief that there's got to be something better than hurling insults from 3,000 miles away. And let me first say that to all the people who treated this like it was some kind of summit meeting, you're ridiculous. Like I was going to sign a treaty or something. I have no power. I'm a fucking comedian, and he's the most powerful leader in the world. I'm not the leader of anything, except maybe a contingent of centrist-minded people who think there's got to be a better way of running this country than hating each other every minute.
Even Piers Morgan had to jump in and call out the rising hysteria on the left, because apparently criticizing Maher for having dinner with Trump isn't dramatic enough. Now the claim is that Trump somehow brainwashed him over appetizers and turned him into a full-blown MAGA supporter. According to the perpetually outraged crowd, Maher has supposedly joined Team Trump and promised never to criticize him again. Let's be real, that's complete nonsense. Maher never said he'd go easy on Trump. What he's actually said time and again is that he's not interested in joining the outrage mob that obsesses over meaningless controversies. There's a clear difference between thoughtful critique and blind partisan fury, and Maher understands that the left used to get it too. But now if you so much as speak to Trump without hurling insults, you're branded a traitor. Maher isn't buying into that mindset. He's always been an independent voice, and no dinner, no matter how provocative, is going to change that. At this point, you almost have to feel a little bad for the guy. He looked completely out of his depth, like someone who walked into the wrong party and only realized it wasn't a costume event. After it was too late, you could see it in his expression. He didn't expect this. Not the sharp counterpunches from Maher, and definitely not the surprise tag team with Piers Morgan. He came in thinking he'd deliver a smug lecture, put Maher in his place, and walk out with his moral trophy. But reality didn't cooperate instead of the easy win. He clearly expected, he walked straight into a storm of reasoned arguments and unapologetic truth. He wasn't ready for an actual debate. He came with recycled sound bites and the assumption that Maher would fold under progressive pressure. That was his first mistake. Maher doesn't just argue, he analyzes. And once Piers joined in, the guest didn't stand a chance. This wasn't just a debate loss, it was a full-blown televised reality check, and Maher still wasn't finished.